Hello YouTube, it is your boy B3 here, back to another kicking, you guessed it, action figure review. Sorry, stuff in my way. But last time I reviewed the Symbiote Spider-Man from the Kingpin Build-A-Figure Wave, and today we are reviewing Red Goblin from the Kingpin Build-A-Figure Wave. I did say this would be my next Marvel Legend review, so I tried to keep my promise for once. But yeah, so Red Goblin, really cool character. If you aren't familiar, but just think it's a cool figure, this is Norman Osborn, aka the Green Goblin, with the Goblin Serum active in his system, and the Carnage symbiote. And then the Goblin Serum and Carnage symbiote combo makes him crazier than ever. He gets a few power enhancements from the symbiote, like he has these, I'm going to show you accessories, by the way. You know how, as Green Goblin, he has pumpkin bombs? Well, he can make his own pumpkin bombs out of the symbiote now. So that's pretty cool. We even get one of them. See, it's all symbiote-y. And they still explode, and he can, like, shoot fire out of his body and stuff. So that's a new power the symbiote gets from the Goblin formula. But also the Goblin formula cures the Carnage symbiote's weaknesses to sonics and fire. So, wow. When I read this story, I really liked it. It was Dan Slott's Swan Song for Amazing Spider-Man, issue 800. I thought the story should have been longer, but I still thought it was pretty cool and a good way to go out. So, you know, have fun doing whatever you're doing now, Slot. But in addition to that, he also comes with this leg for Kingpin, which I'll put on Kingpin later. I will be reviewing this whole wave. As I said, I already reviewed Symbiote Spider-Man, and I've also reviewed Puma already, so that's that. Got this guy for $40. I could not find him cheaper than $40 anywhere. And every store within an hour from me only stocks the movie waves. They never stock any wave that's not for a movie. And I think that's because Marvel Legends come out way too fast. Stop releasing 3 waves at a time, Hasbro. God damn. But yeah, so no one stocks these. So I had to get it online, and it shot up to 40 so fast after it came out. Damn. And it actually came out really quickly, which is one of the reasons it shot up so fast, because issue 800 wasn't that long ago. Maybe a year? Like, they had this figure in production before Red Goblin had even made his debut. Because it was announced shortly after that story. We even saw it at, maybe it was Comic-Con or something? I don't know. But it's the Bucky Cat mold. It's got some new stuff, though, as you can clearly see. You know, the tendrils sculpted on these arms are different than the tendrils that are that were on the last 2 Carnages we got with the Bucky Cat mold. He has these kind of basic claw hands that we've seen on several figures. You know, if you're wondering why he's wobbly, that's because when I opened him just now, he fell apart. His midsection was not glued together. I had to glue him together, but it's still not glued at the top of the bottom part of the torso, so he's a little wobbly for that reason. You know, the only way I could really get that part glued and preserve the articulation was if I severed the glue seal on this part, and that would be even worse. So, I'm not a factory, okay? I'm doing this by hand. So he's a little wobbly because he fell apart when I opened him. Fell into 4 pieces. The head sculpt's obviously new. I mean, who else has a head like this, right? It's a pretty freaky head sculpt. I think it's a good idea. I would have preferred more of a grimace, more of a laughing face instead of a neutral face. One of his eyes is also kind of looking in another direction than the other. You notice that? See, that eye's sticking out to the side, and that one's looking straight forward. This is an accessory also, but I didn't mention it because it's on his body. This is another, these are the same tendrils that the last 2 Carnages we've gotten had. You just peg them into the back, no big deal. He does have this new tail that's sculpted onto his butt. It doesn't articulate or bend or anything. It's just there, but it does help him stand, so that's pretty cool. I mean, not used to these having tails. He does have the same claw feet that we see a lot, even though they gave the Symbiote Spider-Man new claw feet, which I made a big deal about if you saw the review for him. But yeah, I mean, he's painted well and everything. He looks good, you know, he looks good. So, articulation-wise, I'm going to be careful because I don't want him to fall apart on me. You have up and down on the head, side to side. You know how the ab crunch works. Waist swivel. Glad I didn't accidentally glue that together. It was a concern that I might accidentally do that. Forward and back on the arms, up and down. You know. Check that out. It's bicep swivel, double elbow bend, wrist swivel, forward and back on the wrists. Legs go forward. Not much for backwards since that tail's kind of in the way. They go in and out. You have a thigh swivel. You do have a double knee bend. You have a boot swivel. Up and down on the feet. Ankle pivot. So he's got the articulation you would expect, right? Now let's do size comparisons. I didn't show this guy off in the Symbiote Spider-Man review because I had not opened him yet. I literally opened him right before this review. Sometimes I like to open them and play with them first, but with Marvel Legends, I normally know what to expect. So, without further ado, let's get our issue 800 Symbiote Spider-Man out here. This was the form Peter had to take to even really stand a chance against Red Goblin. Red Goblin really only had one weakness, so yeah, so that's it, you know? And just so you know, Red Goblin is the Bucky Cap mold at its base. So if you have a Bucky Cap figure, figures are going to scale well with Red Goblin the same way they do Bucky Cap. But here's how the Pizza Spider-Man mold scales with him. What other molds do I have? Here's another figure from his wave. The only one I've said I already have. Puma. Puma's a pretty unique figure. For Marvel Legend, anyways. So that's cool. They look good together. They never fought or anything, but still. If you want to see him with the previous Carnage, this is another relatively recent Carnage. They released this one as a slight retool of the Ultimate Green Goblin Carnage, but this is the Monster Venom Build-A-Figure Wave Carnage. Cletus Cassidy. So that's, you know, how if you like to display all your Carnages together, that's that. But they're both Bucky Cap, so. I like to show off an MCU figure with comic figures as well. So here's Mark II War Machine. They scale well together. That's cool. And I feel like one more figure is warranted. Do you want to see one more figure? Who just wants to see one more figure? I don't know which one to show. How about another MCU figure and a large figure as well? Proxima Midnight from Infinity War. Oh, your feet don't want to go flat. There we go. Pretty cool. So that's that. So what are my final thoughts on the Kingpin Build-A-Figure Wave Hasbro Marvel Legends Red Goblin? Well, if you get the Red Goblin, you probably don't have to worry about it falling apart when you open it like I did. I'm sure that was just a simple mistake, a little quality control issue, but normally I have no problems like that with Marvel Legends. I have before. Remember when I got that recent Spider-Woman figure? It also broke on me. But I was not able to preserve her articulation when I fixed her. So, if you liked The Amazing Spider-Man, issue 800, if you like Norman Osborn, if you like Goblins, if you like Symbiotes, if you like Carnage, this might be a cool figure to have. It's going to be hard to find for 20 bucks. It's going to be hard to find for that release price. It is. I'm sorry. I couldn't do it. I actually tried to pre-order him, and there were no pre-orders available for him. People pre-ordered the shit out of this guy. I actually tried to pre-order this whole wave, and the only one they would let me pre-order was Puma. I don't know why. I get why he sold out of pre-orders. Why did everyone else? They're all still regular price online. Even the Symbiote Spider-Man. So I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, thank you all very much for supporting this video. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. Hit subscribe and that notification bell for more reviews. Not only do we review Marvel figures, we also have some DC stuff. Lots of Toku figures, you know, Power Rangers, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Masked Rider, Redman, Godzilla, Ultraman, Gamera. We do some Dragon Ball stuff, Pacific Rim. I got a Star Wars review coming. Universal Monsters. I got a lot of stuff on the way. I have literally 3 piles of unopened action figures to review because I'm a sick man. Oh, and I also have another box full. I have a box full of them too. Make that 4 piles. Fuck. Okay, so thank you all once again for your support. And I'll see y'all later.